Now in Udon, we see Raisu is reunited with Kawamatsu, one of the 9 red scabbards, in which he is now locked up in the prison cell because after fishing for rotten fish for 13 years, will it pay off? In which Raisu wanted to see his face, but Kawamatsu doesn't want to because he was chained up. So he told him about the 9 days before the night of the fire festival starts, in which he's going to free him so they can actually stop the fighting. So he's actually searching for the keys, the key for his chains and the prison cell. But he was actually been spotted by the guards who were actually looking for the keys. So he actually going to use his smoke screen to vanish. Meanwhile, we actually seen the prison yard where Crane forced Luffy and Grandpa Kigoro to fight, in which they're actually going to fight the Great Sumo Inferno Tournament, in which Queen is actually holding it, and which Queen actually has them both infitted with collars, which they thought it would actually have Sea Prison Stone, but if someone actually leave the the arena outside the sumo wrestling ring, then the collars will explode, and also talons will also fly from the inside if that actually happens, in which they cannot actually get the collars off. It was actually designed. So I guess Luffy has no other choice but to fight. And he actually is going to fight them to win. As soon as we actually realize that he actually is going to fight, we actually seen him taking on a dozen prisoners to actually win his freedom, in which Kawamatsu actually seen him fight, but he actually told Luffy, don't let Boss Kugoro to die. Which we actually had to the other scene of the bathhouse, where we actually seen the Beast Pirates actually went inside, where Hawkins and X Drake are actually standing there on guard, which they actually looking for old Super Mask, but it's actually Sanji, in which we actually seen Nami, Robin, and Shinobu actually was inside, and they actually saw Hawkins looking for him, at which we actually knew that someone is actually hiding behind Shinobu, as Hawkins using his sword to attack Nami. Her towel actually flew off, and every man saw her naked pass out, in which Sanji is actually using his stealth black uniform to peep in a bathhouse, which that's obvious where he actually is. And now Nami and Robin actually seen his outfit for the first time, in which Drake actually went inside and find him. However, they both got their kimonos and they actually escaped the bathhouse, in which they actually realize why Sanji is out on a bathhouse is because they're going to draw attention to Law, because Bebo and the others were captured. So they're actually using them to lure out Law. And so they go get to him first before that actually happens, in which the flower capital is already falling into chaos, in which we actually knew what's going to happen. Meanwhile, in the Wano country, Ringo, we actually seen Zoro is battling a samurai who wanted to get the sword Shusui from him, which claims to be stolen from the grave of the legendary samurai of Wano country, Ryoma, in which he actually doesn't want to do that, because if he refuses, he's going to take the other two swords from him as well. As we knew that this would actually be the battle of Shunsui, we're actually going to see how this will actually going to happen soon. Now we actually seen Kawamatsu is witnessing Luffy's fight, and then Sanji rescuing Nami, Robin, and Shinobu from the bathhouse, which they actually escaped from Drake and Hawkins. And they actually realized that they actually captured Law's crew, and they're going to use them to lure out Law. And meanwhile, in Rango, we're seeing Zoro is battling a samurai for Shunsui. So we're actually going to see in the next chapter what will he do if he loses his sword. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment up what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Guy joining here saying signing out. Laters!